14th, but our May Eastside Community Forum. It is so great to see everybody this afternoon. We have a pretty nice agenda. We have two overviews of August back to school events. One from CMS. I don't see Miss Cantey, excuse me, on the call yet. One from Amity Medical. We have Danielle from Mecklenburg County to talk about overdose data to action. We have some Eastside updates that I'd like to share with you all. It has been a pretty busy week on the Eastside, and it's Wednesday, and then we'll have an open forum. So with that said, Miss Ivory, are you on the call? I don't think so. All right, Michelle, do you want me to let you share the screen, or are you?
I can just talk kind of a little bit about the event. So hi everyone, I'm Michelle. I work for Amity Medical Group. I'm our outreach and partnerships events coordinator. So I just kind of wanted to let everybody know that we are having a back to school resource event on August 23rd at our Monroe Road clinic. And essentially, this event is to serve as a health fair for the community. So, right now, we have sports physicals that kids need in order to return to school. Also, the health department will be there providing free vaccinations for students that Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools require. We're going to be doing health screenings. We also will have a mobile HIV testing unit. We will also be providing free dental screenings, and that will be provided by Charlotte Community Health Clinic. And then we're in the process of getting a mobile OBGYN unit from Atrium there as well. But in addition to health resources, we also have invited several community partners to come table and provide resources to the children and families that will be there. There's going to be food trucks, there's going to be a DJ, and we're kind of in the process of trying to figure out a fun activity for children to do so that they're not just, getting vaccinations and sports physicals. So if anybody would like to participate in this event, this is a free event. We just ask for help spreading the word. We want to make sure that these resources are available to as many people as possible. And I'll put my email in the chat so that you guys can email me if you guys are interested in participating. We also ask you bring your own tables and chairs, just stuff like that, because we're limited on those supplies. But should be a great event. And we're also in the process of getting a bunch of book bags and school supplies donated for the children who come as well. So if you guys have any questions, like I said, I'll put my email in the chat and feel free to message me.
Thank you, Michelle. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Amity, Amity Medical is a phenomenal partner of ours at Charlotte East. Their flagship location is off W.T. Harris, right next to Easttown Market. But how many locations do y'all have now, Michelle? It's like quite a bit. Um, and go ahead.
6. Sorry.
Six? No, you're fine. You're fine. And I know they do a lot of primary care, behavioral health, but Amity, started really with PrEP and HIV support, correct? And then you guys have transitioned really to do more primary care. But they're an awesome organization. We've been happy to partner with them through the United Ways, United Neighborhoods initiative for the past 2 years. They came out to our Eastside Farm and Community Day this weekend with providers, so they've been a great ally and support. And the Monroe Road location is still on the east side. It's not in our specific footprint, but I think it will be a phenomenal event and would encourage folks to reach out to Michelle. And Michelle, I know you already have the flyers, right?
I do, and I will send them in the group chat. And I was gonna say we actually were gonna have this event at our Harris location, which is in the east side, of course, but due to limited space, we're gonna have to do it at our Monroe clinic.
Which is still in the greater, you said the Monroe Road Clinic, right?
Yes, that's
Oh
correct.
yeah, okay. So still in the east side, y'all. So this will be a good opportunity to partner and plug in. Any questions for Michelle before we move on? Okay. Go ahead and kick it over to Danielle. Are you on the call with us? Yes, you are. Welcome.
Yep. Hi, welcome. Thank you guys so much for having me. So I just want to give like a brief overview of who we are and just share to see how we're able to connect and any other ways of collaboration. So,
Do you want me to
my name
let
is
you share the
Danielle.
screen? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I took some screenshots from your website, but I'll let you share the screen to get more accurate
Yeah,
info.
yeah, that's okay. Cool. Yeah, let me just give me 1 second.
One second. Okay. You should be good.
Yep. So I can also put our website in the chat, but just wanted to share a little bit briefly about our program. So our program is a 5-year cooperative agreement with the CDC that focuses on using surveillance data to highlight our prevention strategies. So again, sorry, my name is Danielle. I'm the clinical outreach coordinator for Overdose Data Action. And with our program, we're basically focused on the goal of being able to reduce overdose deaths and non-fatal overdoses within the county. So a lot of our work is driven by linkage to care, being able to properly link patients to primary care, social supports, things like that. Also substance use treatment, harm reduction services. Also being able to focus on harm reduction. We work a lot with Queen City Harm Reduction, who is a surveillance service program here within Mecklenburg County. Also Promise Resource Network with their peer program. Also building up their harm reduction agency as well. And then also working a little bit with another um, surveillance service program known as Haji House. They primarily work within like the Betty's Ford area, so we work a lot with them as well. And then we also have another focus, which is being able to enhance health systems and clinicians. So being able to work with clinicians to ensure that they have everything that they need in terms of being able to properly provide services and things like that, and being able to improve the access to care for patients, like referral options and things like that. We do have a few projects that we have been working on. As you can see, we also have our naloxone survey available, which allows
Okay,
us
cool.
to be able to incorporate naloxone around the county. So we do have naloxone available at the health department for the Betty's Ford Road, where I'm at, and then we also have it at our other health department location on Billingsley Road.
Do y'all have
That's
it on
pretty exciting.
Scarborough or no?
Yes, we do. So we do also have it at EBS. There it's in a vending machine, but free of charge. You can go and get it there. We actually are in the process of working on getting it available through our process as well that we currently have for anyone to pick up if they don't want to go use the vending machine. So that's pretty exciting. Um, we also again have our monthly overdose reports where you can kind of see like our dashboard, see the information about the overdose deaths within the county, the ED visit, things like that, demographic information. Currently, we've been seeing an increase within the Black population as well as the Hispanic Latino population. So a lot of our work is going to be starting to work within those areas, being able to provide services within theirs, and then also being able to work within certain zip codes. So we've been interested in looking at data to highlight high-risk zip codes, to kind of see like the work that we can do, whether that's being able to bring naloxone to the area, whether that's working with our harm reduction partners to ensure that we're doing the proper outreach and being able to connect these clients and these patients to the proper resources for them, and just being able to overall educate the community. Because as I've seen, there is a little bit of stigma still associated with overdose prevention and overdose deaths and things like that. So just being able to ensure that people are educated about it and then just understand that they can save a life. So yeah, that's pretty much us. And like I said, we're definitely open to partnerships and just if you guys wanted to connect offline, I would definitely be interested in that and just seeing how we're able to educate one another. So yeah, and then also too just sharing a little bit about our dashboard, which you guys can go see as well.
Yeah, Danielle, I want to thank you all for coming. And for those of you who have not really checked out their website, if this is an area of interest for you of public health, Danielle, I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, sure.
But these are screenshots that I pulled from their reports this month, April. So you guys are doing a phenomenal job of submitting and putting up publicly accessible monthly reports, which like
Thank
as a
you.
data geek, I love because it's live, essentially live feedback, or excuse me, live
Yeah.
data. But I thought it was very interesting because it seems, that you guys are continuing to go a little bit up with OD related ER visits this year, or is it pretty stagnant from where it was last year?
Yeah, from my understanding, it is going up a little bit, but not like a major um impact, yeah.
Okay. And your naloxone, do you have because I know Queen City Harm Reduction is in our footprint, right? So they're at the
Mhm.
intersection of, Plaza and Eastway. And I know they also do naloxone giveaways. But for the county services, I'm curious, like you said, the vending machine at Scarborough Center. Do folks have to be program participants with the county or patients with
Oh
the
no,
county?
not at all. It's a free for all, so they can just go to the vending machine and pick it up. That vending machine, we also have two actually. We have one at EBS and the other Valerie C. Woodard. So that includes naloxone, COVID tests, and condoms. So yeah, they can just go in and press a button, press like which one they would like, and then it'll just dispense. And as far as the surveys available, that is for individuals and organizations. So anyone can come and get it. You'll just put in your like contact information, and I'll be able to coordinate with you to pick it up, whether it's here at Northwest or at the other location on Billingsley.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I know I have a million questions. We got a packed agenda. Did you put your contact info in
Yeah,
the
of
in
course. Yep.
the
I'll put it in right now.
and do you mind putting a link to the dashboard as well? I'll send it out as a follow-up, but for those
Yeah.
of you who haven't checked this out, I would highly recommend it, even if, public health isn't your thing. I think it's pretty fascinating that they're providing monthly data reports. Now, with this map that you guys have in the month, so just to be clear to everybody, this was their April report, so this was last month. And the data to me, like the cluster and the amount was just shocking. Just the sheer quantity. Do you all have this on like a spreadsheet or in an interactive form, or do you just have the like cluster dot map?
Yeah, so I believe we just have that map. I believe the one that isn't in the dashboard, you're able to kind of like move around with that one. So it
Okay.
could be a little bit
Okay.
more interactive. So I can put that in the chat as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. And I
Yeah, of
encourage
course.
y'all
Thank
to,
you.
sorry we don't have a ton of time for questions today, y'all, but I encourage you all to reach out to Danielle to follow up. Righty, thank you so much for making time today. Um, let's go to, I think I saw the esteemed Miss Ivory-Cantey pop on.
Yes, you did. Can you hear me, Greg?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all of the neighborhood associations that are on the call. Thank you for giving me a few minutes, and that's what I'll take. But I do want to have the opportunity to meet with each of your associations individually, if possible. And I know that I've had an opportunity, and I saw she was on the line to talk to my friend Carolyn. So I know she's on there. But basically, I am with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools with the department called Community Partnership and Family Engagement. And one of the reasons that I'm here today is to let you know that we would like to come to each of your neighborhoods, meet with the individuals that attend your neighborhood meeting, and find out which schools you are in close proximity to, which schools you're in line with, which schools you have partnerships with. If you don't have a partnership, maybe we can actually make that happen, whether it's your child, and if you're like me, all children are our children, or if it's your grandchild, we want to make sure that CMS is involved and engaged with the community. And that's why I'm here today. I will personally be the one that attends your meeting and be able to say how we can hopefully partnership with you and make it a reciprocal partnership. I don't want to just come in and see what resources you have to offer. I want to be able to provide resources for you so that you can help the families in your area and maybe not physically give them to you, but at least be able to say, here they are, even though you guys have Greg, and Greg is very resourceful. I don't know, or I don't not, and I will probably be here another year because Greg and I are partnering, and I don't know how much they know, with the Eastland Sports Complex. So, but someone will follow me, but I'll be working with Greg and hopefully be working with the communities on that project because that is very important for, and I'm not supposed to be talking about that, very important for your neighborhood, and not only your neighborhood, but we want to bring and collaborate with the West. That was one of the visions that Greg and I both had when we started talking about the project. But in the meantime, in the next year or so, I want you to know that I will be willing to come to your neighborhood meetings and talk to you about what is happening with CMS and get your input on how you think we can, like I said, partner and be joined in a collaboration. One big announcement I want to make is that we are having our back to school. School hasn't even ended. The kids are getting ready to have the EOG, EOC, the state testing. We just finished teacher appreciation. But one major thing that is happening on August 9th, that is our back to school event. We want all of your neighborhood families to participate. We are expecting and will have food and opportunities for over 5,000, 6,000. We will have free parking for families who want to come and drive. If the family doesn't have transportation, they can go to their school and inquire about bus transportation. Bus transportation will be free to anyone who plans to come to the back to school event that day. We've worked through the city and we're going to have that. It'll be food. Every child will have book bag, and there's so many other things that we're collecting to make sure that they have when they return to school. And that's going to be a result of so many companies participating.
Where's the location this year? I don't think I
It's going to
remember.
be at the night baseball
Oh,
field.
y'all doing it at Truist? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And Greg, I know that you guys have a lot on your agenda, but if you'll please put, I have the gift of gab, but if you'll put my telephone number, no, put my email address, my CMS email address
Okay.
in chat, and please, and if you will be so kind as to give me the individual names and telephone numbers, I will follow up with them to see when I can come to their meetings.
So what I will do is I will send out the request. Usually after these meetings, I send out minutes, and then I'll ask
Okay,
folks who are available today that want to get into contact to please directly contact you if that works.
that will be perfect. But please let me come. We need to talk. We have not done a great job of being in the communities. We finally, we used to do it, but I think we finally realized that we need to be back in the community with collaborating with the families who attend the schools.
Thank you, ma'am.
And let me say, not attend the schools, even if you are like senior and young like me, you don't have to attend the schools. But, and when I say young, I am not young, but basically, I know that you care about children, regardless if they're yours or not yours, and children who are in schools in close proximity to you.
Well, I am glad to hear that the district is taking a more active approach. And I just put your email in the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for letting me come. Appreciate it. And I look forward to hearing from you.
Appreciate you, Miss Ivory.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we have an agenda item that just popped up that I want to make give the opportunity, and I do want to address. We have a great group of folks here today. I know we have wanted to recognize Representative Jordan Lopez, NC House 112, who's up in Raleigh right now. Excuse me, ensuring that the work gets done for the East Side. I believe we have. Who do we have? Oh, we do have a candidate on the line with us. We have Juan Diego Mosquera Arias, who is running for Charlotte City Council District 5. We have 2 planning commissioners. So I appreciate you all coming out today. And with that said, on the planning commissioner side, I will pass it to you. Douglas, are you still on the call? Yep, there you are.
There I am. Cool. Hi, everybody. My name is Douglas Welton, and I'm the chairman of the Planning Commission. And I thank Greg for letting me scoot in here and bust in on your agenda. I promise to be very quick. The Planning Commission is right now, there's a process going on in our city called Community Area Planning. And Charlotte passed several years ago the Charlotte 2040 plan, which was a policy document to kind of guide council about how they make decisions going forward between now and 2040. That takes care of the whole city, but how does that affect Charlotte East? Well, the city was divided into 14 geographies, and I think Charlotte East actually straddles a couple of the different geographies. But those plans are called the Community Area Plan, and that's what do we want to see in this particular part of the city. Those plans are now under review and subject to be adopted by City Council here shortly. There was a public hearing on those plans on Monday, but we still need to get everybody that possibly can have an opinion to issue their opinion, all right? And if you have an interest in these community area plans, I will tell you there are 2 ways that you can help us out. One is to go to CLT Future 2040 and look at the community area plan for your area. And I'll put this in the chat for you. So you'll be able to see what we believe is going to be the plan for your area. And again, the planning department has gone out and we've had meetings and we've taken feedback, and this is kind of synthesizes those things all together. The other thing is tomorrow night, there is a virtual open house to discuss these plans. And that link is also going to be in the chat. And if you have an opinion that you just need to express, if you don't have an opinion because you don't know what I'm talking about yet, I urge you to please take a look at possibly attending that virtual open house and providing some feedback on these community area plans. They're important because they will basically set the tone of policy about how City Council will address your areas in the future. I have to go in 6 minutes, but because my cohort, Carolyn Millen, is on the call, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Carolyn. And you can reach out to me directly as well. You can find both of us on the Charlotte Planning Commission website. Our emails are there. I know that I'm going to be off this call in a minute, and Carolyn will still be around. So she loves taking questions. I think, yeah, she's agreeing with me. Yeah. So again, please consider participating in the community area planning process. It is not finished yet. We're going to get there. We're headed toward the end of the line. I'm sure, Greg, if you've offered some feedback, I'm sure. It's important. If you got the opportunity, take that. And I appreciate you all letting me have a minute to scoot in here and say all these things. And I hope everybody has a fun, extra special, good day. And I'm going to put some stuff in the chat and then I'll be out.
Thank you, Douglas. And what I'll also do in the follow-up meeting minutes to this, I think WCNC did a pretty decent overview about 2 weeks ago, like breaking it down with some graphics that are particularly germane to like Plaza and WT Harris intersection. Because I know, Douglas, I'm sure you guys have heard this feedback too, like sometimes with these plans, it's so hard and it becomes like almost esoteric for folks to keep up with. Like, what is the difference, right? Not even like UDO 2040, community area plans, UDO text amendments, so I think you being here is an awesome opportunity for folks to know that, hey, you guys have one more opportunity for feedback, right, at this open house tomorrow.
Yeah, the open house. If you watched Monday's council meeting and the public hearing, council did appear to open the door to having a longer period to consider, because I'm trying to find nice ways to say this. Perhaps there was an opportunity for more understanding to come to both council and the community.
Understood.
I think that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, I think you're in the clear there. Yeah.
Nobody's going to get me on that one. So again, when these opportunities come up, please take them, because it may be another 5 years before somebody comes back and revisits this plan. And if the plan says, X is going to happen in this part of the neighborhood, and you didn't necessarily think that should happen, and you didn't say anything, then you've lost your opportunity. So again, I just encourage everybody to participate as much as they possibly have the bandwidth to do. So
thank you. I'm glad you're here to be able to speak up on that. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Great. Everybody have a great day. I'm out.
Thanks, Douglas. All right, y'all. We are going to move on to Eastside updates. Have a few. We're moving through this pretty good. Okay, I wanted to give a very brief, because we've had representative from CATS here. We've talked about this, I think, ad nauseum. A transit tax update. So as y'all know, for about a year now, there's been discussion about putting a 1 cent sales tax on the ballot to fund future transportation projects, including both rail, including bus, including road infrastructure. So the collective governing body currently over transportation, MTC, which comprises the mayors, county commissioners, the gamut, they will meet on May 28th and will vote on staff's recommendation to move forward with scenario 1. Now, if you all remember, we had Andy Mock here, for those of you who were here with CATS back in, I think, February or March, and they were running through all the options, and I was like, well, option 1 really, if any, would be the one that would appeal to, I think, the East Charlotte community the most. There were 4 options, right, that CATS was going to say, here's what we're going to fund in terms of rail. So here is the option that staff recommended to MTC to vote to move forward with. So that meeting is in 2 weeks from today. As it affects us, it would include the Gold Line all the way down to Eastland. So from where it leads in Plaza Midwood, all the way down Central to Eastland. And it would include the big topic of discussion has been the Silver Line, particularly the Silver Line East. It would go as far as Bojangles Coliseum, right? As we all know, the original plans were for to go all the way to Matthews. CATS at one point said, well, can we consider doing what's called bus rapid transit instead of rail? They put out a community survey. The responses were overwhelmingly no. So CATS is recommending that rail does get included for the future all the way to Matthews, and that they will not pursue bus rapid transit to Matthews. But there are a couple things going on. There are a lot of things going on with this, right? There's absolutely, and anybody on the call who knows and would like to correct me on this, but there's absolutely no guarantee that the General Assembly will allow Mecklenburg County to put this sales tax on the ballot this year. To do that, it does require state approval. There's a lot that's beyond that and going on that. It doesn't mean that our representatives are not fighting for us. It just means with the balance of political power in Raleigh, it hasn't exactly been a priority. So that's one piece, right? There's no guarantee that this will happen at all. But if it does not this year, oh, there we go. There we go. I knew it was coming. Representative Lopez, thank you.
I mean, at the very least, I can do my best to try to provide an update. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Jordan Lopez represents you all in House District 112 and up here in Raleigh. Um, Greg is absolutely right. There is no guarantee this will be taken up this year by the legislature. When it comes to Mecklenburg County, when it comes to the city of Charlotte, that usually ranks pretty low on the list of priorities for this body's leadership. I will say there have been two bills filed to not only get this onto the ballot, but then also to create the authority to spend the money. Neither bill has moved, neither made it to the crossover deadline. So in effect, those bills are dead, but they can be added to the budget. Personally, I expect that to be where we see that language adopted in the budget. We will not have our House version of the budget released until next Monday. At least that's what we were told just about an hour and a half ago, is that we should be able to get the full text of the House version of the budget by Monday afternoon. It will be in that document that we know whether or not transit is dead or alive at all this year. I will say I can't speak for my other colleagues in the Mecklenburg County delegation, but if they stuff this transit plan in the budget, I don't want to telegraph a vote or anything like that, but based on what we've seen that came from the Senate, it was a very bad budget that underinvests in a lot of different areas. It pulls money from programs that are vital. It accelerates tax cuts for people that do not need it. I won't go into detail because that's not the purpose of this call, but I will say that that's a very different calculus that every individual member of the delegation is going to have to make on their own, but it's what I personally believe is going to happen. And if that is the case, there is a strong possibility it will end up being on the ballot in November, because the budget in a building like this will pass. Will it pass with or without Mecklenburg County support is to be seen. It is likely the governor will likely either sign the budget into law or let it become law without his signature. But regardless, if it is in the budget, it's very likely the transit plan will happen, or at least the referenda will happen. But all that is to be seen. Hopefully can provide an update next Monday after we get the budget language released. But Greg is 100% right. We can't guarantee anything at the moment. So
Thank you for that insight. Thank you. And a lot of this stuff, right? So if it doesn't, and I will say this, these monthly calls, and thank you, Representative Lopez, for offering to give us some information after Monday to keep everybody in the loop. This will be a frequent touch point as in a standing agenda item until we get to November. I think it's extremely critical that everyone is informed truthfully about the process that got us here and also what it means for East Charlotte, what it means for the community as a whole. We're already seeing a very aggressive sales pitch from certain camps in the city, in the larger Charlotte business community, to go ahead and get folks behind this when the plan isn't even totally finalized. So thank you again, Representative Lopez. I will tell everybody on this call, in the case that this does make it on the ballot for a referendum in November, Charlotte East will host a transit tax town hall in October. So I believe it's the week, I have a tentative date scheduled the week before early voting begins. We will do a large community info session to make people aware of really what the final implications of this would be, because this is really, as the CATS is putting it forward, it's a 30-year funding project. So this is generationally significant. Alrighty, we are going to go ahead and move to, I have one more agenda item that we have an open forum. There has been a lot, and I'm just going to, I'm not going to sit here and tell falsehoods. I'm going to tell you guys what I've known, talking to both reporters, talking to immigration advocates, talking to people whose job this is. There's been a lot of activity by Immigration's Custom Enforcement, not just in East Charlotte, but citywide, and actually today in Cabarrus County and Concord. Regionally, I mean, there's always, really, there's ICE activity frequently, but the past 2.5 days have been an pretty significant escalation to where we haven't seen before. I know on Monday there were a minimum of 3 reported separate ICE operations in East Charlotte. one of which has made the rounds throughout pretty much every news station over the past 48 hours, and it was one of a parent taking their children to school at Charlotte East Language Academy being detained. Julian Berger from WFAE has really been the primary reporter, like hustling on all of these immigration stories in the past few days. But he was the one who originally broke the story. There's been a lot that has happened in the 48 hours since that story has happened. The PTA from the school put out a statement Monday night calling on CMS to be more active in terms of its response. We had multiple board members issued statements, empathizing, but also underscoring that, this did not happen on CMS property and they're bound by the extents of the law. An op-ed was written by another parent in the Observer yesterday that really took a direct call at CMS to be more active and engaged, at least publicly, behind letting folks know what is actually happening and information sharing. I will say that communication has been a very weak point of CMS. I know there are other schools and folks within the vicinity of Charlotte East Language Academy who I've spoken with personally who have been very concerned and very unsure of how they should run specific practices at their school, not knowing exactly the details of what happened because they weren't getting communication from the district on how to handle those things. Last night, the Board of Education did release a very general statement, ensuring that they wanted every child to feel safe at school, families as well, but underscoring that there wasn't much that they could do. And I will say earlier today, and I believe it was today, and you can see in the middle, ICE actually issued a public statement about this specific incident, just trying to detail what had occurred, and essentially the rationale for why the individual was arrested or encountered, excuse me. I'm looking at the exact, no, it was arrested. But now there have been conflicting reports about whether or not ICE's statement was the actual incident in question with the parent who was arrested. But I say all this to say, I mean, there's a lot going on. This is a very fluid, this specific parent story is a very fluid story with more details continuing to come out. But I would continue to recommend reading the coverage of Julian Berger. He does a phenomenal job on Instagram of keeping live updates of what's happening. And I put this, the Comunidad Colectiva, which is a wing of Carolina Migrant Network, has also been posting accurate information about confirmed ICE sightings. Yesterday, there was a large presence on Monroe Rd, the Forest Hills townhomes, and Julian this morning reported another one at, I believe it was around W.T. Harris and Albemarle around the Lawyers Road bus stop. But I just wanted to share this information with you all, put you in the right direction to follow. It's very hard. Every station, everybody's reporting on this. I think Julian's coverage is really clearly, to me, as I'm looking at this from a viewer and as a news consumer, has been the most trustworthy. So a lot going on here. Again, just wanted to inform, as this has been very heavily in the news and our community has been pretty deeply impacted by the uncertainties of what's been happening here. Let me do this. Oh, and I see Representative Lopez. Okay, thank you. Representative Lopez says, our office put out a statement on this and we're trying to stay on top of what exactly happened. It's unacceptable for the arrest to have happened on Monday and for ICE to only just now release information on what happened. The onus is on them as the arresting agency to report what happened, not on us as members of the community to just sit and wait. Thank you for that, Representative Lopez. And I will say, it was interesting as well because Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, when they put out their statement yesterday, they actually originally backdated it to make it seem that they had put out the statement on Monday. It's just been a very interesting and concerning 48 hours, but thank you, Representative Lopez. All right, timing has worked out pretty well on this. So we have 5 minutes for open forum, we have 4 minutes, as I always want to make sure that we cut off at 3:45. One thing I will note, I know Representative Lopez just spoke about the House budget. The county just this morning, and I'll send this in the follow-up, County Manager Diorio released her recommended budget for FY 2026. You can go through and see, it's actually not as crazy as the city's budget. It's only Carolyn, I see your face. It's only 126 pages, this one. It's not 500. So, and it's pretty line item in terms of which agencies are getting funded, because I know there's been a lot of concern that I've heard in the past week from agencies that have been given a heads up that they've been cut. There is a proposed tax increase as well, I think, is what the county has kind of conditioned the community to expect. There is going to be a property tax increase as well, but I'll send all that information out. All right, Louise, I'm going to give you, because I know, Louise, you reached out. If you can nail this in 1 minute, that would be great. If you're still around, let me look. Okay, as we're waiting for Louise, is there anybody else who would like to share an item before we hop off? Yes, Gia, hey.
Hello, Greg. I just wanted to introduce myself if that was okay.
Please do.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Gia Claybrooks, and I am the founder and executive director of a nonprofit called Thrive Liberation Community Center. Our mission is to provide a safe haven for Black youth and young adults ages 13 to 30 to do 4 things: gather, learn, heal, and be. We are fairly new in the nonprofit sector and are getting ready to launch programming between the summer and fall. I wanted to introduce myself to you all primarily because I am an East Charlottean. I've been living on this side of town since my mother and I relocated to Charlotte from Nashville, Tennessee, in 2016. And so I wanted to introduce myself and really just extend an opportunity for you all to learn a little bit more about Thrive, but also if you all are interested in the work and the mission and the vision that we have, please.
You still there, Gia? Oh, gee, you might have got kicked off. I'll send a follow-up about Thrive. Gia is doing some phenomenal work. She's just getting started. I think we lost her.
Greg, this is Valerie. How you doing?
Hi, Valerie. How are you doing?
Good. I just have one statement. So it appears to me that we're going to get a tax increase no matter what.
Property
So,
tax from the county, yes, and then potentially if the sales tax gets on the ballot and then voters approve it, then that'll be separate sales tax, penny on the dollar. But property tax, yes, it does appear that the county will be pushing that, yes.
And next year,
then-
the city.
Next year, the city as well.
Wow. So there is nothing that we can do. Everything that needs funding comes from the taxpayer, but the taxpayer doesn't have a voice. Is that fair?
Yeah, things are pretty messy right now, and that's why the timing. A lot of folks have questioned the timing of the sales tax. So I think as we move forward to that, if that does become a reality, that is going to be a major talking point. I know we will be pushing that talking point because I believe Matthew's estimates put that at roughly an additional cost of roughly $250 to $300 per year on taxpayers. But no, thank you for bringing that up. And Gia, I am sorry that you got cut off. Gia, do me a favor and send me, if you have any literature you want me to send in the follow-up, I will do that.
Yeah, I'll send out one pager and any of my information for people to get in contact. Thank you so much, and sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Y'all, we are at time, and I'm very big about ending at 3:45. Thank you all. This was an awesome meeting. I think this was a record attendance for us. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, and be on the lookout for the follow-up that I'll send likely tomorrow morning.
All right. Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.